Well, thank you for tuning into Oversaturated Podcast, man. We got a dope guest in the building, man. Probably man, I have to say it, man. Probably one of our biggest guests, too.
Yeah.
Salute to this man, artist, creative, millions of views on YouTube, man. I don't want to say viral sensation because it kind of kind of diminishes the brand. But nonetheless, man, we got Mr. Phill Wade in the building, man. Say what's up.
Man, what's going on, man? Appreciate y'all for having me on the show. Much love, much black love showing over here. You know what I'm saying? This is what we doing. Yes. It's always a movement. It's always a movement, dog. So thank y'all for having me on for sure.
No problem.
Most definitely. Now, before we get started with the interview, we like to check in with our guest. How have you been coping with everything going on in the world today? Pandemic, everything going on in the news. How have you been coping as a black man?
Man, it's one day at a time. But I also have a son. He's 1 year. He's 1 year old. He's about to be 2. So it's a lot of thoughts that cross your mind. Raising a child, period, girl or boy. You know what I'm saying? Even harder for a girl than it is for a boy, in my opinion. So it's just so much going on, but we've been coping well, one day at a time, a lot of positivity, you know what I'm saying? Staying prayed up, got your positivity right, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to be productive, staying creative, because us as creators, we all creators, man. If you're not creative, it gets a little depressing, it gets a little dark.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Feel me? Yeah. So that's what we've been doing, man. Just staying creative, keeping some positivity around us, not getting drowned out by the news, social media.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Glad you're able to stay positive and stay sane and everything. Cause I know I've had my moments where I was like, oh, this is crazy. But you find ways to cope, stay in your creative bag. It definitely helps.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One reason we even started the podcast was we always thought that we'd be kind of good at this thing, but at the same time it was kind of always a mechanism to escape those things that kind of drowned us out from what was going on outside. But man, it's just great that you're doing okay. And I'll be honest, just with the recent passing of Chadwick kind of put me in a bad place again. But just talking things out, especially with my brother Johnny, is just we've been able to kind of cope and, move forward because he was just such a positive inspiration. Just, the things that we were able to see him do in a short amount of time that he was, quote unquote famous was, was dope,
Yeah, most definitely. Shout out to Chadwick and his family.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
He's dope. I always say there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But one of the pros that I was listening to an interview with one of his coworkers that was filming with him on Black Panther. He was talking to his wife after they were done shooting one day, and she was like, what is your opinion of Chadwick? How's he doing? And his response was, I think he's kind of precious. He said precious in a way, like every time we were done, his girlfriend was massaging his hands. He had somebody rubbing his shoulders, giving him water. You know what I'm saying? Just saying like, he just kind of fancy. You know what I'm saying? But he broke down into tears because he was just like, I didn't know that's what he was going through. Like he was out there. It's 100+ degree weather. They got on 40 to 50 pounds of, costume and all this other stuff. Yeah. And so they running and, jumping and, he having to be that athletic dude. He got to be in the gym in the morning and then on set for all of them. And so he didn't know that he was dealing with this while being a superhero. So it's just like, man, it made me want to shut up about anything that's going wrong over here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Definitely. Yeah. Now let me ask you this, brother. You are an HBCU alum, right? Prairie View A&M?
Prairie View A&M University.
Okay. Shout out to the SWAC. Me and
Shout
Johnny,
out to the SWAC.
We're Alabama A&M alum. So
much love.
Okay. Yeah. So how was your experience at Prairie View A&M? How was that, man?
Man, Prairie View, shout out to the HBCU experience, man. It was dope, dog. Yeah. It was dope, man. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And it was the education at my school was dope. We're known for engineering. That's what engineering and nursing. That's what Prairie View is known for. But the everything else was, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. We already
everything else, you know what I'm saying? The networking, the relationships, it's years later, and I'm still benefiting from the relationships that I had with people. So that's the greatest thing that I got, going to a HBCU. It's a family type of vibe. Yeah.
For sure.
Now at Prairie View, is that where you first learned about your creative bag? Is that where you started? Is that what sparked you doing like the videos from what 10 years ago?
Yeah, man. I was doing, that's when I was doing Facebook videos, you know, putting videos on Facebook. But the actual first video I had on YouTube was the Trey Songz video that went crazy. Yo, side of the barrel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, once that went viral, it kind of just led to everything else. You know, I was doing a lot of stuff in school. I was doing a lot of stuff in PV on stage, but you know, I just knew I was good at giving speeches. Yeah. And I had a mean Ray Charles impersonation, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I had. You know, I love to dance. I was dancing a lot, of course. But everything else happened after college, really. You know what I'm saying? When the whole social media move popped off and YouTube, you know, celebrities started popping off. So it was just like a wildfire. So it was a good time. It was a good period.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. You were kind of at the forefront of that YouTube, you know, superstar type of movement, right? How do you feel like your life has changed, you know, over those past 10 years? Because YouTube is just a big platform now, you know?
Yeah. Man, my life has changed. It's always changing because those YouTube videos are still providing me with opportunities. It almost makes you timeless in a sense. And so artists, even if you don't have 6 million views, you got to put content out into the atmosphere so you too can be, you know what I'm saying, timeless. You got something that you created. Every artist, your responsibility as an artist is to be a representation of the time. So whatever the avenue you choose, you know what I'm saying? So we were active at that point, and so we still benefiting from the work that we put in years ago. Yeah,
it's funny because like even in just kind of going back to your, you know, I guess you would say your YouTube catalog, like the BMF gospel remix was something that was really, really big. Like, especially to my core group of friends at the tail end of college. For me personally, I was just like, man, this dude really blew up, and him and his friends was just playing around. And you know, it just is, you know, it showed that you had immense talent, even though it was just like, oh, we're just joking around. This is just, you know, this is like work. Like, but I really have something else. So I just want to say my hat off to you, brother, for that.
Man, appreciate you. I'm with my homie DJ right now, waiting on him to make that tuna salad. You know?
That's what's up. So let me ask you, at what point?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's good, man?
Shit, pull up a chair if you're trying to come kick it. Hey, we kicking it.
We're really gonna be here for 2 hours.
Right. That's my name, man. Oh yeah, all love, bro.
Who's my man that did the Busta Rhymes impersonation?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, first off, I seen Spliff and I saw Timberland in the other room. He was making a beat with a plastic fork and a pencil.
And what you tell him? What you have to tell him?
I said, hey, burn that to a CD and let's go, brother.
And then what you tell him?
Hey, put a beat on.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm broke, man.
Oh man,
gotta put a beat on.
Oh man, put a beat on. Okay, my bad. I didn't mean to do all that.
It's all good.
All right.
Word.
Where were you, brother?
Okay. All right, I'm back. Now, at what point did you go from just putting out videos just with your friends and having fun to actually like purposefully putting out the videos for content? Because I know at first, you know, you was just sitting around clowning with your friends, even though, you know, it was real talented. But at what point did you purposefully start putting out videos as content? And
it was
that a hard transition?
It was immediately. It was like after they heard me say chicken wing 2 sides or whipping work, hallelujah, honey. After they heard me say these things, you know, they was like, man, he playing, but he sound like he can sing. Where his album at? Where your album? And I'm like, album? I'm looking at the homies like, I ain't got no album. You know what I'm saying? So essentially, we got to work. You know, the people will tell you what they want from you. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening. So those are one of those things that I could provide. So we started making music. We started doing jam sessions back to back. We was giving it to them, you know what I'm saying? So real organic energy, just paying attention to where you are.
It's beautiful when it all comes together organically, and you got the people behind you that actually like help and push you to do, you know, to do great. It's always great when that happens, man. So that's dope. That's dope.
Appreciate it, much love.
Now that's dope. Like now you said now people were, you know, asking for the music, but do you ever think you got to a point where people were just asking for the funny? They never wanted to see your talent. Like they only wanted the satire, the parodies, like the, you know, the fun stuff, but they don't want Phill Wade in the sense of like, this is my artistic side. This is my music. This is me.
Man, I have had those feelings or those thoughts because, you know, the numbers say when I go funny, when I go funny, you know, it turn up. You know what I'm saying? And I do have a lot of followers who still, you know, subscribers who got down with the jam session. The jam sessions were, you know, clutch. People really love them joints.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? At a point where I wasn't really in love with my voice. You know what I'm talking about? So, you know, as a singer, I feel like I listen back to it now and I was like, man, you had some developing to do, my God. But it was a vibe. You know what I'm saying? We was vibed out. You know, we was vibed out for the most part. So I really understand how some people want the funny. And that's why this Relly thing I'm working on now is the perfect medium. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. But
Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought it up because that was the next question. Like, Relly, man, you got to talk about it. Because I was like, what?
Oh, hold on. We on a Zoom. Hold on. We on a Zoom. There you go. Done. There you go. Got a little Relly season back there. Yeah, a little Relly season back there. Relly season is Relly season, dog.
Relly is in the house.
Yeah. You say it's really, you know what time it is. But man, Relly, dog, it was a whole. I dropped a record last year. It was called April Fool.
Mm-hmm.
And just playing with the idea, and it was just a one-off record. And I did a record with Billy Sorrell's a holiday video, but that was just me, you know, Phill Wade. But the Relly joint really got kicked into action during like quarantine. We was bored. The homie and the homie was like, we need to put out some content. So you got to go to work. So we got on these Zoom calls and we made it happen, dog, and put out some. Worked on and completed some fire records. We only released one, which is Unsweet Tea. Y'all make sure y'all check that joint out.
We checked it.
I want to put that song at the end of this episode so people can hear it. Because
Relly, the king of comedy R&B, dog. Unsweet Tea is doing vibes, man. It's been getting a lot of support, a lot of love, but Relly got records, dog. So essentially, and I want to talk about it because everybody know the obvious when you hear Relly, but when I'm a fan of 90s R&B to the T to the bone, you know what I'm saying? So when you hearing these records, you're going to hear Keith Sweat, you're going to hear Aaron Hall vibes, you're going to hear Baby, I know. I'm going to be on there, you know what I'm saying? I'm that vibes. I'm Babyface, I'm Gerald Levert, you know, I'm Jodeci, H-Town, Dino, H-Town. It's a whole lot of vibes that you're going to get from this Relly character because I be playing all the time, so you know, just imitating all the people that I like Slam from 112. Only you, you know that's how that nigga sound. Can't have you in my life. Yeah, so you're gonna get all of those vibes, dog. So from Relly, man. So we got a record called Stretch Mark Lover. We got a record called BB Dub. We got a record called Honey Butter OG. We got records, dog.
Oh no, it's about to be lit. I need this.
Right. Right. That Unsweet Tea joint, like it has a dope vibe to it. Like the vibe is there. Like sonically, it's great, right? You know, even though it's supposed to be comedy R&B, but it's a vibe.
Most definitely, man. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the squad. Shout out to Proper Art. Man, it's a small collection of us, man. We call ourselves the Cream Team, keeping real energy around me. We the Cream Team.
I love it.
And you know, we make records, dog. Shout out to the whole squad. And so more to come. We got records through the end of the year.
Okay.
It's okay. First of all, am I the only person here that enjoys Unsweet Tea?
You enjoy unsweetened, and then like you probably can make it sweet to yourself, or do you just like it?
Sometimes I don't want a lot of sugar, but I want something with a little flavor. Drink some unsweet tea.
A little flavor.
Just a little bit. Just a smidget. Just a smidget.
Just drink lemon water.
This ain't my lemon water. You know.
Sometimes you don't want the acidity. I don't know. No, I'm just talking. But so in Unsweet Tea, like Ralph said, like the song is a vibe, but it like if you really listen to it, it's funny. It's funny. Like how do you find yourself merging the comedy with such great like production and talent?
Man, it's very intentional, but it's very natural and organic. Me and the homies that I work with, shout out to Ira Dean, Freddie Fontaine, Eric King, Madison, and Nick Humes. We get together, dog. We know each other. We vibe in Houston. We've done shows together, and so we already have a relationship. So, you know, and these are people who Grammy nominated, Grammy winners, Billboards. They've been on the bill there, you know what I'm saying, familiar with all these things. And so you just got a small gumbo of talent getting together, just real organic, no egos type vibes, because we have a relationship. So it wasn't like I had to look, man, I need to get a record with Trey Songz right now, or I need a record, you know, whoever, if Chris Brown. I could look to my left and my right in my own city. And I got talented people right there. So we got together and we just made it happen from the writing to the production. It was I barely remember it. It just happened that fast. Yeah.
That's dope, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's been a lot of talk about ownership of, you know, your name and your content and things like that been floating around for the past few weeks. Has there been like any deals that, you know, that you can speak of that you possibly like, you know what, this ain't it because I still want to own my content. I still want to be Mr. Phill Wade and not, you know, be, you know, a slave, quote unquote, to a contract.
Word. I have been in a situation like that. It was a bad manager contract. It was wild. She was trying to get me to be something else, and it was just real wild. So, and you know, you learn that it's with relationships, with any, you know, any level of relationship, you're gonna run into a bad one at some point. Yeah. So it was just a part of life, you know. I don't even flex about it.
Yeah. Is there anything you would say that's the most what would you say is the most challenging part of their content creation, of your specific content creation?
Man, if you are, I would say the hardest part of content creation, and I wouldn't even say this is the hardest part. The hardest part is not the content creation. The hardest part is for an artist, a musical artist more specifically, is the work that comes after you drop the record. Okay. That's the hard part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So dropping the flyer, dropping the artwork, that's hard. You in the studio creating, you in your element, that's not hard. Now all the stuff that you don't want to do or you don't feel like, or artists usually don't, the business side of it, you got to dig into that and be passionate about that process as well. So that can be considered the hard part because that part takes a lot more persistence than even before, you know what I'm saying, before you drop the record, before you drop the artwork.
Right. Would you say it makes it easier if you have a specific team behind you that does that type of thing, or is it easier for you to do it yourself?
It depends on what type of person you are. But getting older and just trying to make the best use of my time, I always say that I want everybody in my team to be doing you know, what their purpose to be doing, like what they're good at. You know what I'm saying? I want you to invest your time in what you're good at, not, you know what I'm saying, making making letterheads and emails and sending. That's not your vibe. That's not what you do. So I wouldn't have you doing that. So if it's something that I feel, sometimes I have a hard time letting other people do stuff sometimes because I'll be like, I can do that. I can do it. I can do it. I was like, wait, I can do it.
Yeah.
But when I'm trying to focus on shows and other things and you know, the business side of it, sometimes it's helpful to have, you know, somebody you could pass something and delegate.
Yeah.
Right. You're speaking our language because, like, I think if anything, we can pair our content creation to your process too, because, you know, this is the easy part. This, you know, what we're doing right here, promoting this thing and, you know, hashtags and, you know, things like that, just trying to get that stuff out there and hopefully the people listen. You know, that's always been our gripe since day one. Because this is easy.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
But let me see. Now let me ask you this. 10 years in the game, you know, Mr. Phill Wade is a name, he's a brand. If it stopped for you today, would you be, you know, content with everything that you accomplished?
No.
I love that answer. I love that energy. Yeah.
Hey, just right there. Like he knows everything he's done has been great, but it's like, you know, it's not enough. I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything I have, I'm grateful for. Everything I've done, I want to do more. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to do more. If I never got another dollar from hosting, you know, that's cool. But I still want to do more hosting. It's gonna lead to something. It's gonna transpire to something. You know what I'm saying? So, gotta have that attitude, like nothing deserved. You know what I'm saying? You gotta earn everything. You feel me?
That's what's up.
I love that.
So, okay, I gotta ask you this because I'm I'm a fan of the technicalities of content creations. Like, I'm a fan of actors and comedians who do music and like play a persona. So for you, how easy is it for you to transform into K Relly? Like, can you just do it right now, or is it easier when you put on like the clothes that K Relly wears? Like, what's that transformation like for you?
It's like a Steve Urkel to Stephon Arkell. It's like the stuff that Stephon would say with such ease. Steve ain't that player, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, not to say that I ain't player, but I have like these thoughts or whatever. But I wouldn't say these things. It's almost a little obnoxious. It almost makes me a little comfortable. Like, I never say that to a girl. I know she'll turn me down with the quickness. But K Relly, when it's music and comedy, when you can combine two things, you can finesse your way around a lot of things, which is why I believe that, you know, people haven't really been given a lot of negative energy to even the name K Relly, because the finessing ship, if you will, the musicality is just so, it takes your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's always the goal. That's always a vibe and the energy. So yeah.
That's cool, because I'm always impressed by that, because it's like people go to school to act, you know, like they're trained in acting, but some people just have it naturally. Like, and with you and your music, you've merged the two so well. It's like you got your music, but then you also have the personality in the music. Like, that's dope. That's just dope to me. That's
right. Yeah, I gotta change in. I gotta do the whole situation. I'm another guy, dog. I'm a whole nother guy when them rails come out. Yo, I'm talking to girls different. I'm like, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Is it hard to turn it off? Like, when you're in character, and then, you know, your performance is over, like, how hard is it to turn it off?
As soon as I get in my car, it's just like,
oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like I'm turned up, and, you know, I'm sauced up, and then I just process. Once I start processing everything that was happening, make sure everything was purposeful, then I just kind of go back to regular.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah,
I love that type of stuff, so I just had to ask.
Appreciate it. No doubt.
Let's see here. I think I got one more question, Johnny. But this is what I got for you, Phill. How do you feel like if you were signed to a major? Let's say you didn't go the independent route. You were signed to a label and they wanted you to go artist development training and things like that. How do you feel about that? Because you got skin in the game. So do you feel like you even need it, or it's just would you still kind of like, okay, I'll listen to the label heads and go through this artist to train, development for a year or so, and then come out with my album?
Oh, I love it. I feel like it makes me better. If it's a situation where somebody can put some pressure on me, you know what I'm saying, to go to the next level, you don't go to the next level without no pressure, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's nothing,
Yeah,
you put pressure on yourself, or you get pressure from somebody else. So, I love to grow. Iron sharpening iron. I can always learn something new. I'm a humble guy, so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, willingness to learn always helps, who, like, anybody in any field, like, grow, so that's dope, man.
Definitely.
Listen, I have a ton of more questions, and I know you have a performance tonight. Should we keep going, or what we doing? I think it's been about 30.
Yeah, we don't want to
hold you.
I'm kind of tight. Yeah, I'm kind of tight.
Okay, cool.
But
so,
we got a vibe, dog. I definitely got to come back, and we can get the whole hour.
Hey,
listen. Listen, whenever you're ready, whenever your schedule clears up,
we got time.
Let us know. We'll make the time. Even if we like in between episodes, we'll make time because we got to get you on a full episode, definitely.
Most def. I'm all the way down, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on. We gonna make time though for sure.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. Just plug, tell the people where they can find you, any projects you got coming out, where they can find all this stuff.
Hey, as you know, as you can see, it's Relly season. You know what I'm talking about? So the record Unsweet Tea, aka Nasty, is out everywhere. Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music. Definitely check that out. Put that on your playlist.
Yes.
It's Relly season, man. Much work, much love to all the homies. We out here doing it. We're putting it on for the ladies. You know how we doing.
Facts.
Hey, follow me on all social media, Mr. Phill Wade, and there's more music to come, dog. Appreciate y'all.
Cool.